This is the part 2 or continuation from our last tutorial. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be learning how to stitch and sew this beautiful blouse you're seeing right here. The cotton video has already been uploaded. Kindly check my videos on YouTube so you see, or I will leave a link in the description box so you click to watch how I cut this beautiful top you're seeing right here. Okay, so let's dive into today's tutorial. So guys, in my last tutorial, we stopped at the joining of the front piece. So I'm going to stitch these three pieces using a fanny stitching allowance, and I'll do the same thing for the lining as well. Okay, have done that, have stitched and have also ironed my seam opening as you can see. Okay, I did the same thing for the lining as well. So I did not iron a stay to this fabric because I really did not like the material. I'm just making this tutorial for its tutorial sake. So the next thing I did was to, fold into two like so. So I'm going to trim about half an inch from the armhole on the side. I will trim half an inch so that after sewing, it will lap very well on my chest. Do you get? I'll repeat the same thing on the lining as well. I'll fold the lining like so, then I'll trim out about half an inch. Okay, just like I did on the main fabric. So the next thing I want to do is to place the lining right sides facing each other. I'll head over straight to my sewing machine and I'll stitch with half inch on the neckline. I'll stitch the down part and also stitch the both side. So this is the back piece. I'll place the lining right sides facing each other. So you can also see my lining was half an inch shorter than the main fabric. So what you want to do is to drag the lining down like so. Head over straight to your sewing machine. Stitch the bottom part, then you drag it up this way to give it the turn up effect. Stitch the both sides, the neckline, and leave the armhole opening. Okay, because it's from the armhole you turn your piece the right side. Okay, don't forget to add your dart. I've stitched the front piece with the lining. As you can see how the neckline is. This is a sweetheart neckline. I did the same thing for the back as well. So this is the back piece. You can see what I have here just done. The next thing I want to do now is to place the back piece right side facing each other like so. For the zip allowance, you're going to run a loose stitch on the zip allowance, then stitch the both side using your body measurement. So I've gone ahead to do that, as you can see. So on this waistline, because we took out 4 inch from the waistline when drafting, I used my waist measurement to shape the waist, okay, because definitely it has reduced from 22-inch on the side to minus 4 inch. You get, so I used my waist measurement to shape that part, okay. So the length I have here is 22. Yours could be 24 or 25 so that the curve will come out very well on the side. Okay, so after I was done with this, next thing I want to do now is to work on the sleeve. But before I work on the sleeve, I'll turn the back side of the blouse. This is the back side of the blouse. I'll turn it like so. So I'm going to note the armhole. So you make sure the armhole of your back and the front are the same. So I forgot to trim out half an inch from the back armhole just like I did on the front piece. So when you trim out half an inch from your front armhole, don't forget to do the same thing on the back, okay? So I'll just do that on the back here. So after doing that, you can see they're now aligned. Can you see? So next thing I want to do now is to work on the sleeve. So for the sleeve, I cut mine in a flay form. You can cut yours straight. And the next thing I did was to place the armhole of my blouse on the side of the sleeve. I'll just place it like so, and I'll form an armhole on that edge. Can you see? So after I was done with that, I also cut out the smaller sleeve. You know it's double sleeve now. So I cut out smaller sleeve. I'm going to measure what I have there. The smaller sleeve width is 10-inch on a fold, while the bigger one is 14-inch on a fold. Okay, that is after trimming the armhole. So what I want to do now is to go ahead and sew. It's not must you cut yours in a flay form. You can just leave it straight like that. Okay, but the length of your sleeve should be longer than mine. My fabric was not enough, so that's why my sleeve came out short. So yours should be very long, like 15 inches. Okay, okay. So now I've already cut the lining for the smaller piece. You can see when I trimmed out half an inch from the lining because of the turn up effect. I've gone ahead to sew the flare and lining together, as you can see. So this is the bigger piece, that is the bigger sleeve. I'm going to fold into two like so, then I will notch the center front of the sleeve. Okay, after spreading like so, I'm going to also notch the smaller piece. You notch the center of your smaller piece like so. After notching, you're going to place them this way. Can you see? You place it like so, then head over straight to your sewing machine and top stitch the both sleeve together. After top stitching the both sleeve together, fold the both sleeve in such a way your elastic can pass through. Do the same thing for the hem. Okay, you fold on the upper part, also fold on the down part. Do the same thing on the second sleeve. I will do that, and after doing that, I'll be right back. I've sewed the upper part of my sleeve. I've did the same thing on the hem part, as you can see. So the next thing I want to do now is to cut the elastic that I'm going to be attaching on this sleeve. Okay, so I'll have two elastic. I'll have about 4 pieces for the both sleeve. Okay, so what I have here is about 8 inch. This 8 inch elastic will be on the shoulder. Okay, I'll be placing the 8 inch elastic on the shoulder, and on this side I have 10 inch elastic. This one will be at the hem part of the sleeve. You get, one will be on the upper part of the sleeve, the bigger one will be on the hem part of the sleeve. So I'm going to start attaching from the upper part of the sleeve. Okay, so I will just pass it through the space I created. I'll just continue doing that until I get to this other side. All right, so I've gone ahead to pass through them. After doing that, next thing I want to do is to head over straight to my sewing machine, and I'll stitch the both side of the sleeve. Okay, I'll just make a small stitch. So I've gone ahead to add elastic on upper part and down part of the sleeve. So you can see what I have here. Like I said, my sleeve came out very small because of lack of fabric. Okay, my fabric was not enough. So from that point, I'm going to mark about 2 inch, but I later marked 1.5 inch. Okay, because I need it to lap very well on my chest. I did the same thing on this other side. So after marking, you are going to also take note of the back armhole as well. Okay, just notch with your chalk. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now that I'm done, the next thing I want to do is to place tape from that point to the edge of my armhole. What I have there is 3.5. I'll measure the other side. I have 3.5. So I'll use the 3.5 to join the sleeve. Okay, so just watch what I'm doing here. You fold your sleeve like so. So from the wrong side of the sleeve, go down by 3.5 inch, or whatever inch you have after measuring yours. Just mark whatever inch you have. Mine was 3.5. I've marked it. The next thing I want to do is to head over straight to my sewing machine, and I'll stitch from that point to the edge of the down part of the sleeve. Okay, do the same thing on the other one. After doing that, I attach the sleeve to my blouse, as you can see, and this is how it's looking like. You can see the double sleeve. Can you see? Assuming your own sleeve is long, you would see the beauty very well. The blouse actually looks very, very beautiful, and it came out nice. So if you have watched this point, guys, kindly hit on the subscribe button. You have every reason to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I share easy tutorial, beginners friendly tutorial, and I don't think any of my tutorial was so stressful or difficult to understand. Thank you.